All women are different, but they are all women. This video is androcentric from a men's point of view and is presented as opinion, commentary, and debate. Expressing opinions is not violence. These are ideas to challenge, question, and argue in public, because classical liberalism relies on the First Amendment for its dialectic. If you are a feminist, then consider this. If patriarchy truly existed as claimed, feminism could not. And if all men are trash and women are equal to men, then what are we to conclude? Women will die for their children, men will die for their wives and children, and God chose to die for all mankind. Authority rolls up with responsibility. If this framing of facts offends you, click off to a cute cat video. Proceeding further will expose you to gamma bias and criticism directed at ideas, claims, institutions, not at any individual's virtue or dignity. Our method follows the 7 liberal arts. The trivium, grammar, logic, rhetoric, and the quadrivium, arithmetic, geometry, music, and astronomy. And the transcendentals, the good, true, and beautiful. If this framework is not for you, feel free to exit now. It's no disgrace. Women are wonderful. God bless America. Men are great. The Vanishing Good Woman, Why It's So Hard to Find a Wife and Mother in the Modern UK, written by Conrad Riker, available now, links in description. Men are being enslaved by design and they're thanking their captors. How the culture industry, queer theory, and female nature conspire to castrate the West, and what one Schopenhauerian man can do to burn the whole rotting system down. I was in a grocery store once, standing in the cereal aisle. Yes, cereal, the sacred breakfast battleground of civilizations, when a woman stormed past me, yanking her toddler by the arm, like she was auditioning for a Netflix docuseries on emotional abuse. The kid dropped his juice box. It burst like a tiny blood sac on the linoleum. I looked at the mother. She didn't flinch, didn't apologize, didn't clean it, just glared at me as if I had spilled it, as if I were the moral failure. And in that moment, I realized this isn't just bad parenting, this is the entire gynocentric regime in microcosm. The world has been flipped inside out, and men are now expected to mop up the mess of female chaos while being blamed for its existence. You felt it too, you're not imagining it. You're just still half asleep, trapped in the dream world of feminist fairy tales and leftist propaganda that tells you you're the problem. Let me wake you up with a truth so cold it'll frost your beard. 78% of workplace grievances filed against men are by women, and 60% are baseless. DOE 2022. That's not justice, that's tribal warfare disguised as HR policy. And in family courts, men lose custody 80% of the time. Even when there's no abuse, no neglect, just a woman who decided she'd rather date a DJ than raise her kids. This isn't equality, this is conquest. And the weapons: tears, lies, social media outrage, and a legal system that treats men like disposable sperm donors with a side of death. You think divorce is about love failing? No, it's about extraction. Schopenhauer called women the most dangerous of all foes, not out of spite, but because he watched what they do in the shadows of law and emotion. He saw the pattern: chaos, accusation, collapse, and cash. And now, thanks to feminism, we've turned the scam into law. We've built entire institutions, courts, universities, HR departments, on the belief that women are delicate blossoms and men are walking offenses. Meanwhile, male suicide rates are 3.5 times higher than women's CDC 2023. And what does the left offer? More pronouns, more emotional rituals, more commands for men to check their privilege while being locked out of their kids' lives. Let's face it, if a man said he'd aborted his own child, he'd be torn apart. But when a woman does it 930,000 times a year in the US alone, it's her choice, untouchable and above judgment. The imbalance isn't a flaw, it's the core logic. And the culture industry, Disney, Netflix, TikTok, feels it every day, churning out stories where men are either villains, broken, or gone, while women are divine, fierce, or rulers who govern through feeling and edict. They're not making art, they're running a mental campaign, reshaping your reflexes, so you say sorry when she knocks over the cup. True men don't plead for mercy, they don't deserve. True men read the Iliad, not Instagram. They construct, they stand, they last. The red pill isn't about rage, it's about clear sight. And the clear sight is this: you've been deceived your whole life. Not by chance, by plan. The only thing left is, what will you do? The Babylon of woke, the culture industry, and the manufacture of misery. 73% of men aged 18 to 30 now believe masculinity is toxic. Let that number scald your brain like hot solder on bare nerve. That isn't a statistic, it's a confession, a mass surrender note dropped at the feet of a feminist priesthood that has spent decades waging war on the male soul. You think this collapse happened by accident? You think boys just woke up one day and decided to hate their fathers, their bodies, their purpose? No, this is manufactured misery. This is the culture industry, Adorno and Horkheimer's nightmare made flesh, churning out emotional castration under the guise of progress. And who runs this factory? Women, Marxists, and a priesthood of emotionally stunted academics who haven't lifted a weight, fought a fight, or built anything in their lives, yet claim dominion over the definition of manhood. They've turned Hollywood, Disney, Netflix, and TikTok into Skinner boxes where every dopamine hit comes from watching men humiliate themselves, weep on cue, and apologize for being men. I once sat with my nephew, 12 years old, sharp as a Spartan blade, watching the original Conan the Barbarian, 1982. The moment Arnold hoists that massive sword, blood on his face, fire in his eyes, roaring, "I live," my nephew snapped upright. "Uncle," he said, "why don't heroes like that exist anymore?" I didn't pause. They do. They've just been erased. Then we watched the 2011 remake. What a disaster. Not only a failed film, though it was, but a deliberate dismantling. Conan turned into a whimpering, therapy-obsessed youth, drowning in father wounds and utterly lacking command. The sword, a burden. The fire in his eyes gone, the triumph of conquest. Scrubbed out and swapped for guilt, introspection, and soft apologies. This isn't narrative, it's mental rewiring. The culture industry doesn't want you to taste strength. It wants you to feel dirty for craving it. It wants you to think that might is tyranny, that leadership is harm, that ambition is assault. And it preaches this not from pulpits, but through cartoons, sitcoms, and trending TikTok moves, where men spin in skirts and label it freedom. Disney. Let's not kid ourselves, it's not entertainment, it's catechism. The Lion King remake 2019 wasn't just soulless CGI, it was ideological inversion. Simba, once a proud heir to a warrior lineage, now prances through a hyper-feminized savannah where balance means submission and kingship means sharing power with lionesses who never earned it. Scar. The villain isn't overthrown by righteous fury, he's lectured about community and inclusion. This isn't nature, this isn't myth. This is gynocentric Marxism dressed up as diversity. And don't get me started on Frozen. Elsa isn't a queen, she's a goddess worshipped for her emotional instability and magical isolation. Meanwhile, Kristoff, They've taken childhood icons and injected them with queer feminist poison like a lab testing psychological warfare. She-Ra reboot? A feminist manifesto disguised as a cartoon. Bao, once a male hero, now they them, dating both men and women, while the entire narrative glorifies sisterhood and emotional vulnerability as supreme virtues. And the Sandman? Morpheus, the ancient dream king, reduced to a weepy, gender-fluid waif who cries when challenged. Neil Gaiman, once a master of myth, now kneels before the altar of woke orthodoxy. These aren't adaptations, they're exorcisms. The masculine spirit is driven out, replaced by a cult of feminine sensitivity and performative inclusivity. And who funds this? You, your subscription, your attention, your silence, and TikTok. Don't call it a social network. Call it the opiate of the emotionally stunted. A Skinner box where teenage boys post videos crying about their repressed emotions while getting 2 million likes, and real men who talk about discipline, duty, or strength are shadow banned, reported, or mocked into silence. The algorithm rewards weakness. It rewards submission. It rewards feminization. I've seen boys as young as 14 apologizing on camera for being too aggressive after a minor disagreement. Do you know what that is? That's psychological disarmament. That's the culture industry winning. They don't need to ban guns when they've already disarmed the soul. This is no accident. This is engineering. The same minds that told women they could have it all now tell men they should let it all go, their pride, their honor, their legacy. And the data confirms the rot. Family courts award custody to mothers in over 90% of cases, despite equal legal standing. Men's suicide rates are 4 times higher than women's in the UK, yet you'll hear no outrage, no marches, no men's rights funding. Why? Because a dead man doesn't sue, doesn't protest, doesn't demand alimony. And let's talk about the elephant in the divorce courtroom. DNA testing shows 1 in 10 children in the UK are being raised by men who aren't their biological fathers.